That's a little known but obvious fact that will immediately make all of us feel stupid. Percentages are reversible. 8% of 25 is the same as 25% of 8, and one of them is much easier to do in your head. You don't actually bite down. You bite up because of your lower jaw. 40% of all sick days taken by white-collar employees are on a Monday or a Friday, not because people are trying for 3-day weekends, but because Monday and Friday account for 40% of all weekdays. Accidents and homicide are the two top causes of death for pregnant women in the US, because most of the other leading causes of death are long-term chronic illnesses, cancers and heart disease mostly. A person diagnosed with less than a year to live just isn't likely to seek pregnancy. Elephants have some of the closest looking breasts to humans besides primates, of course. 2 of them. You just kind of look at female elephants in the context you usually see them and whoop, there it is. https://www.casod.co.th/upload/files/146160128% E0% B8% 8% E0% B9% 89% E0% B8% B2% E0% B8% 87% E0% B9% 82% E0% B8% 8% E0% B8% 7% E0% B9% 8% E0% B8% 99% E0% B8% 12.jpg, and you can't see it ever again. It was never mentioned that Humpty Dumpty was an egg. Pufferfish are filled with water, not air. Wouldn't even make sense. Yet a lot of people are like, what? World Wide Web contains fewer syllables than its intended short form -www, thus making the shorter version longer to say. Edit. Grammar. The and thou were actually the informal forms. The King James Bible used them so that the relationship with God would seem more personal. Cats, dogs, and other similar animals can't see directly below their faces, because their snout gets in the way. That's why you have to point out the treat a million times. They're not stupid, the damn thing is just in their blind spot. If you edit your Reddit post under 3 minutes, it will not be marked as edited. Anything over 3 minutes will be. Edit. Fucking lol buys. https://www.reddit.com/r/uscredit/comments/ev8of/ What's a little known but obvious fact that will /0n3// Tear ducts drain tears. They don't produce them. Violent crime in the US has fallen over 50% since 1994. Think about that for a moment. We only think it is more because of social media and our news stations where we hear more than before. Despite some spikes every once in a while, violent crime has been plummeting for 25 years. Edit. Well, this blew up while I was sleeping. If you want to know more, read Better Angels of Our Nature by Steven Pinker. The world is getting better. Well, in this respect, things are not all doom and gloom. If you touch a baby bird, the mother will not reject it. I don't even know who came up with it. When a nurse gives you an IV, they aren't leaving the metal needle inside your arm - they actually remove that and only a soft plastic tube remains - so you don't need to keep your arm that straight. Relax. You can take a quart-sized Ziploc bag fruits are full of the little travel bottles of liquor as you can fit in there. It's completely legal. Now, the airline might not approve of you pouring your own drinks, but it makes layovers and hanging out in the terminal much more easy. Edit. So this blew up. I definitely don't want anyone to break the law. All I was saying is that it's a thing and you can go through that just fine with your own booze. Just be smart about it. Also, I fixed the just like humans, British cows moo in regional accents. Covered bridges are designed with roofs to protect and preserve the wooden structure from the elements. Without the cover they'd last about 20 years. With the cover they can last up to 100. They're not built that way just to look charming. Words that are spelled the same but pronounced with emphasis on different syllables is actually indicative of the part of speech it is. Stress on the first syllable is a noun. Stress on the last syllable is a verb. Examples: contract and contract. The former is a noun. Sign this contract. Whereas the latter is a verb. The muscles contract. Same with record, address, impact, object, and a few others. It's a safe deposit box, not a safety deposit box. The word helicopter has two components. They aren't heli and copter. They are helico and pter. Helico, helix, and pter, wing, like with pterodactyl. Do you get mad that dictionaries add new words like crunk or bling? They add them because people use those words and people need to understand what they mean. That's why they are in a dictionary. The Los Angeles Angels is basically saying the Angels, when all in English. Around 70% of all car accidents happen within 10 miles of your home, because over 70% of your driving is within 10 miles of your home. It's a statistic driving teachers love to toss out there, that most accidents happen close to your home. But if you think about it, most of your driving is close to your home. Even if you drive 20 miles to work, 50% of your driving will take place 10 miles from your home. The average commute is around 15 miles, and most people shop close to home. So it's really common sense that the majority of your driving will take place in that 10-mile radius, even if you travel further for work or other activities. 911 operators have no fucking clue where you are instantly unless you're on a landline. You have to say where you are. It's not our fault movies made you think we have a spy-level video of you in your car. Know your location. The Terminator didn't need our heads-up display in his visual system. His system already had access to all of that information anyway, otherwise how could it display it? Redisplaying it in a form that would then have to be visually interpreted would be a complete waste of time. There's R.D. in fridge but not in refrigerator. It really bothers me. Mark Twain famously once said, "It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so." For instance, carrots are good for improving night vision. Fact: during World War E, the British didn't want the Germans to know they had secret radar technology. So, they spread propaganda saying that the good eyesight of their pilots was due to carrots. And everyone believed it. That meme on Facebook that says your porn star name is the name of your first pet and the street you grew up on, was put out so that hundreds of gullible teenagers would post the answers to their bank security questions. Your hair and nails do not continue to grow after you die. They need oxygen to grow, which they can't get after your heart stops. Just like a dormitory is a place where you sleep, a laboratory is a place where you labor. Potatoes didn't arrive in Europe until the 16th century. It's so ubiquitous, you'd think it would have been a part of English culture since 10,000 BC. When water boils, it is the same temperature no matter how big the bubbles are. Edit. I know I have described this in a 4th grade science kind of way. The little piggy didn't go to the market for shopping. Everyone has seen shows or movies about traveling circuses, mainly in the 1930s or 1940s. During the Depression, running away to join the circus was a semi-reasonable option. Many people scoff at the Florida law you must feed the meter where you park your elephant. Those circuses had a travel season that heavily relied on summer and warmer months. They would spend the winter in Florida until the next travel season. Oz even had an entire season about this. Over 90% of the hands you've shaken have touched a penis. Almost all samples of sea salt that you can buy in supermarkets are contaminated by microplastics from all the crap in the ocean. On average, people have less than 2 arms. Final edit. I fixed it. My favorite thing to tell people: penguins swim faster than Michael Phelps. Remember that Discovery special that pitted a shark against him to see who was faster? Completely stupid, because even shark food swims faster than he does. Sharks eat penguins. To clarify. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. Is a suicide joke. Edit. Thank you. Edit. Not everything needs to be taken so SRSLY. It's a second interpretation of the original. And yes, that does predate the car. But a few chickens probably were trampled by horse and carried. Poor guys. The location is tropical, if it falls between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. In the US, only Hawaii is tropical, and only barely. South Florida is also very close to the Tropic of Cancer, but is north of it and thus not tropical. The words laser and scuba are actually acronyms, and they stand for laser minus light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Scuba minus self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. If you're going to take a nap, it's lie down. If you're going to place something on a surface, it's lay down. I'm tired, so I'm going to lie down now. I'm going to lay down this tray on the table. When extracting organs for donating, doctors need to keep the body alive, obviously through machines, but they need to keep the blood pumping. Edit. Since this blew up, I do want to clarify that, as mentioned in the comments, some organs can be harvested after death, but main organs like heart and lung need to be receiving oxygen. Most cats are like super lactose intolerant, and drinking milk is really bad for them. Baby porcupines are called porcupets. Antisocial means that you are hostile or harmful to organized society, as in being or marked by behavior deviating sharply from the social norm. Asocial is rejecting or lacking the capacity for social interaction. Factoids have a second definition, a false fact that is generally accepted as the truth. You're probably of average intelligence or below. The word alphabet comes from the first 2 Greek letters alpha and beta. Your tongue rests at the roof of your mouth. You know that old statistic that the average person eats 3 spiders in their sleep each year? That was an intentionally made up statistic by a journalist to elicit the point that people will believe any statistic the media will tell them. Edit. Apparently it's 8 that is commonly told. And apparently even the origin of this myth itself is ironically not factual. Subscribe, like and comment if you hate outros, begging you to subscribe, like and comment.